So we're going to go through the answers to the independent and dependent variables puzzle from yesterday and talk about those real quick. So question number 1, Angel is experimenting to find the difference in the distance a marshmallow will fly based on the length of a catapult's arm. The dependent variable in this experiment is. So the dependent variable is what you were measuring. And I know it's kind of odd to say that A isn't correct because you are measuring the length of the catapult's arm, but you're actually measuring that to change it. That's what you're changing in the experiment. What you're looking for is how far that catapult can actually throw the marshmallow, and that's going to depend on the length of that catapult's arm. So in this case, each time you change the length of the catapult's arm and you use the catapult, you're going to measure the distance that that marshmallow goes, and that is B. Question 2 says, Simon wants to know if adding salt to water changes the number of drops of water that will fit on a penny without spilling over. And it wants to know what the independent variable is. The independent variable is what you're changing. Now, a great way to find that in something like this is look for the word add. So in this case, when you're adding salt to the water, you are actually making the independent variable. So that's going to help you process of elimination, take out everything but this one right here, which is C. Question 3, Romario wants to know if the distance of a paper airplane flies changes when the weight of the airplane is different. It wants to know the dependent variable, and again, that's what we're measuring. So in this case, it wants to know the distance an airplane flies. That's our clue right there, the distance part. That's a measurement. So we come down here and find that that is B. Number 4, Jennifer wants to know if the type of flavoring added to plain gelatin will change the amount of time it takes the gelatin to set. This is something that we haven't talked about yet, which is the controlled variable. And that's the variable that stays the same throughout the experiment. Now, we're going to do this through process of elimination. We're going to take out the stuff that you are changing. In this case, it's the type of flavoring being added. Remember that clue, that word added? So we know that that's the independent variable. We're also going to take out the stuff that they're measuring. And a clue for this one, in this case, is an amount. Amount is counting or measuring, and they're counting time. So we're going to take out the type of flavor, and we're going to take out the, I lost that one here. We're going to take out the time, and that's going to leave us with the amount of gelatin. It does not say anything about changing that in this case, so that is set. Question 5, Ahmed experiments to find if the temperatures of the water affects a goldfish's heart rate. He measures the heart rate in beats per minute. The independent variable is, so again, what are we changing here? In this case, it says to find if the temperature of the water affects the heart rate. So we are going to change that temperature of the water to see if it affects the goldfish's heart rate, and that is A. Question 6, Sheila is trying to find out if the amount of sugar added to water changes the time it takes to freeze, and wants to know the controlled variable. So again, I'm going to show you how to do this with process of elimination. It says to find out if the amount of sugar added, keyword, we're going to take out that, which is here. And it says changes the time, again, that's that clue that we're going to count or measure that it takes to freeze. So we're taking out time, we're taking out amount of sugar, and the temperature of the water right here is something that we're also measuring. So that leaves us with C, the amount of water, how much water is actually in those cups.